truth bombs for you. Back with some more epic truth bombs for you. Even if you manage to reach the mountaintops, the peaks and valleys that I've climbed, even if you reach the heights that I've reached in my lifetime, you'll find yourself empty-handed and thankless in this technocrat hellscape, this corrupt technocrat hellscape that your police and military defend at your expense, at you and your family's expense. Just remember that while the corrupt police and military and private security contracted by the government of your nation, just remember, no matter how smug they act, no matter how much they claim that they're good people doing the right thing, that they defend the businesses that do all of this harm onto society. They're the ones that step in between you and your employers when your employers are wrongly terminating you, or when they're not paying you a living wage, when they're not paying you the standard of living. Remember that it's the punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers that are all 17,000 of them, that are the ones that are ardently stepping in between you and the people not paying you the standard of living. Remember that the punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers are the ones that defend, step in between you and the bullies when you're a child growing. Children come home crying about being bullied. Remember that the punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers are the ones that will put you and your children in handcuffs if you tell your child to stand up to a bully nowadays. Just remember that. They're the ones that are smug about it, that think they're owed thanks for doing what they do. They think they're owed thanks and more money for doing what they do. All 17,000 of the corrupt punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers that all belong underneath the jail cell, walking around with graphics and raps on their vehicles that are paid for by the taxpayer, calling the prison industrial complex that they guard and protect a motel. Just remember that. Every time you see a punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officer, I'm looking at one right now, he's a real punk-ass motherfucker, and just remember that they're the ones that knock on your door whenever you stand up to these businesses that don't pay you the standard of living. Whenever you stand up to these businesses that don't pay you the standard of living, whenever you point out that these are the people that defend this corrupt and broken system, and every single time they're the ones that intervene and arrest people for trying to have what should be done in society, just remember that in private, they're running their mouths smugly and acting like it's your fault that you're poor, even though they're the ones that put handcuffs on you when you stand up to your corrupt employers that don't pay you the standard of living. Just know that they're running their mouth about you, behind your back, in front of your face. Just know that they're writing smug shit that you can't take care of yourself on the paperwork that they do, slowly, intentionally, to milk money from the taxpayer. Just know that these punk-ass motherfuckers, and I'm looking at one right now as I say this, just know that these punk-ass motherfuckers run their mouth about you, and they think it's cute and funny that you're poor and that you got bullied your entire life. They think you have a victim complex because you're pointing out that they defend literal satanic p-diddlers on the internet, and that they'll put you in handcuffs for bullying satanic cult members on the internet. That's what your punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers, and I've been looking at one the entire time I've been saying this, that's what your punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers get paid to do, and they think that you owe them respect. They think that you owe them respect and that you should be put in jail for not showing them respect. They think I'm not owed respect and that they're owed respect. So go figure, right? They think you shouldn't be arrested for bullying me, but I should be arrested for bullying them. Go figure, right? Why do we get arrested for bullying the police, but no one gets arrested for bullying us? Go figure, right? How does that make sense? How does that make sense unless they're fragile, egoed fucking pussies? How does that make sense unless the police are fragile, egoed fucking pussies? Which is why they want to be able to run their mouth about you in front of you, but you can't run your mouth about them in front of them. Go figure, right? So just know that. Just know that these people are so fragile egoed that from the time that you're a child, they'll intervene anytime you stand up to a bully. You're supposed to stand there and just let people bully you your entire life with little to no repercussion. They'll arrest you for retaliating to a bully in your adolescence and your adulthood, but you're not allowed to bully them. You're not allowed to bully them, or else they'll try to go above and beyond to put unnecessary charges on you, so on and so forth. Just know that these corrupt ass, punk ass Lee County Sheriff's officers talk shit about you behind your back. They write in paperwork things like, it's your fault that you're poor, you can't take care of yourself, even though you could literally be the best VR boxer in the world. And if you're poor, they're going to claim that it's your fault. But get this, if you try to start a union to force the businesses in the area to pay people the standard of living, the Lee County Sheriff's officers not only run a union, most of them are members of unions, by the way, they engage in collective bargaining, but you can't engage in collective bargaining. No. Only the sheriffs of Florida can engage in collective bargaining. But if you try to engage in collective bargaining, they're going to arrest you because you're not allowed to get paid the standard of living. Only they're allowed to threaten to go on strike. Only they're allowed to argue a contract. Only they're allowed to argue their benefits. Okay? So get this. So the Lee County Sheriff's officers are going to knock on your door if you're rude to your employer while you're being wrongly terminated, and they're going to threaten to arrest you for standing up to your employers, especially if you're the son of union presidents like me. If you're the son of union presidents like me, which is how I know that these people engage in collective bargaining. Ask me how I know that the Lee County Sheriffs love unions only when it pertains to them. But if you're trying to stand up for yourself and you're trying to get yourself paid the standard of living, they're going to knock on your door. You're going to get door knocks from the same Lee County Sheriff's officers that are a part of a union if you stand up to your employers, and they're going to threaten to arrest you for being mean to your employers when you get wrongfully terminated. But they're a part of a union. They argue their contracts. They have arbitration. So how does that make sense, by the way? But it's your fault if you're poor. You're not trying hard enough if you're poor, according to the Lee County Sheriff's officers, even though you could literally be the best VR boxer in the world like me, and even though it's their fault that your earning potential is capped by their poor detective work because they made you a patsy for Dustin Taylor and Ivan Webb, who have laced countless amounts of drugs that have literally killed people all over Cape Coral and North Fort Myers. So these same Lee County Sheriff's officers are going to write in paperwork about you when you're standing up to satanic cult members on Discord that you can't take care of yourself, that it's your fault that you're poor, even though it's their fault and their poor detective work's fault. And then they're going to say that you need to be locked in a psych ward even though you're the best VR boxer in the world. That's what the Lee County Sheriffs are going to do to you, all 17,000 of them. And they're going to smugly run their mouth about it. Even after they SWAT you, they're going to stand in your driveway and smugly run their mouth about you and call you a victim, like it's your fault that you're poor in this economic situation, even though they capped your earning potential with their shitty detective work, okay, and made you a patsy for drug dealers that have blood on their hands. Okay, that's what the Lee County Sheriffs get up to. That's what the Lee County Sheriff get up to, and they think you owe them respect. They think they have a right to arrest you for being rude to them, but they'll be rude to you with no repercussions, and they'll write smug, condescending shit in government paperwork about you. That's what the Lee County Sheriffs will do to you. And then they're going to run around a conservative state being members of unions, and then they're going to act like you don't have a right to engage in collective bargaining. But it's your fault that you're poor, apparently. Apparently, it's your fault that you're poor and not theirs, even though they're the ones standing in the way of you making the standard of living because they interfere in any attempt to orchestrate collective bargaining. So you're playing a losing game, folks. You're playing a losing game, folks. There's no reason to be invested one bit in this society. The police, the punk-ass Lee County Sheriff's officers exist to do nothing other than protect bullies. That is all they exist to do. And I'm saying, as someone that has had to deal with them, I've lived in Lee County my entire life. I can tell you for a fact, the police in Lee County, Florida are good for nothing, all 17,000 of them, other than getting in your way when someone does you wrong. That's all they're good for. All the Lee County Sheriff's officers are good for is defending corrupt businesses, defending bullies, and standing in your way when someone does you wrong and protecting the person that did you wrong. Other than that, all they're going to do is cap your earning potential and mock and ridicule you when you're actually a victim of a crime. They'll be nowhere to be found when you're a victim of a crime, let alone solve it. They'll be nowhere to be found other than in your driveway mocking and ridiculing you and calling you a victim. That's all the Lee County Sheriffs are going to do. When you're a victim of a crime, all they're going to do is mock and ridicule you. That's all the Lee County Sheriff's officers are good for, is mocking and ridiculing you when you're a victim of a crime. Other than that, they're just going to arrest you and they're going to defend the people bullying you. They're going to defend the businesses treating you wrong, despite the fact that they're a member of a union. Despite the fact that they're a member of a union and they're deeply concerned with them making enough money to survive, they're going to try to put you in handcuffs when you try to force a business, pay them enough to pay you enough money to survive. When you're trying to force a business to pay you enough money to survive, the Lee County Sheriffs are going to be there to put handcuffs on you. But they're a member of a union. Yet they're a member of a union. How does that make sense? Riddle me that one. Riddle me that one. Why are you in unions if you just simply need to work harder if you're poor? I work harder than all 17,000. On an individual level, I work harder than every single employee of the Lee County Sheriff's Department. Every single one. There's not one that works harder than me. You want to know how I know that? None of them are the best in the world at something. None of them are the best in the world at something. Not from Carmine Marcino down. There's not a Lee County Sheriff's officer that's the best in the world at anything, let alone solving a crime. The best police in the world are in Lee County, Florida. You want to know how I know? You want to know how I know? They were busy running their fucking mouths to me when I got swatted. They were busy standing in my driveway acting like it's my fucking fault when I got swatted. That's how I know they're piss poor police officers, all 17,000 of them. The worst fucking police in the world. I spit on them. A private detective agency could do better police work than every single fucking salaried employee of the Lee County Sheriff's Department. Okay? A private fucking detective agency can do a better job than every single fucking paid employee and union member of the Lee County Sheriff's Department. Okay, you want to know how I know? A private fucking detective's not going to stand in my driveway telling me it's my fucking fault when I get swatted. That's how I know a private detective can do a better job than all 17,000 Lee County Sheriff's Department officers. You want to know how I know? Because if I used my money, which you motherfuckers used to line your wallets, okay? If I took my money and gave it to a private detective's not going to tell me it's my fucking fault that I got swatted. He's not going to stand in my driveway running his fat fucking mouth to me like the Lee County Sheriff's Department did. Okay? What's funny is that they pay a single one of you motherfuckers a dime above minimum wage. That's what's funny. All right? We should hire a private security force. We should hire a private security force specifically to disrupt the Lee County Sheriff's Office union. We should shut down the Lee County Sheriff's Office union, and we should lower their wages to minimum wage and then tell them it's their fault that they're poor like they do to everyone else. That's what we should do to the Lee County Sheriff's Department. We should shut their union down. We should put them in handcuffs, and if they try to unionize, we should pay a minimum wage, and then we should tell them it's their fault that they're poor and that no one gives a fuck what they do. They do to everyone else, and we should pay a minimum wage or a contract like they do to everyone else. Okay? They should hire me, okay, to be a private security force to ensure that police officers are as poor as everyone else that they judge, and then we should see how they behave once they're poor. Okay? Once they start acting like they're owed respect, which they show to no one else, for what they do, we should tell them to shut the fuck up and that no one cares like they do to everyone else. It's what we should do to the police. We should disrupt their ability to unionize. We should shut their union down like they did to everyone else. We should make them work for minimum wage, and then we should tell them to shut the fuck up and that no one cares like they do to everyone else. And then we'll see if they still think without their legal immunity, without their union arbitrators. We should see if they're still telling people it's their fault that they're poor after that. They should hire me. They should hire me to be a smug fucking asshole. No, they should hire me to be a smug fucking asshole to them while they're trying to get their union back. After we shut their union down, They should hire me to show up when they try to reunionize, to be a smug asshole to them. And then when they try to get violent with me, I should have 17 fucking people with me ready to jump them and put them in handcuffs like they do to everyone else. And go, what? Just work harder. Just work harder. What? You want money? Just work harder. What are you fucking poor? Just work harder. I should be able to do that to the police. I'm eating McDonald's. I would have made my Joey Diaz spicy McChicken sandwiches. However, I don't have any THC tinctures right now. I just have a vape cartridge. But I'm eating McDonald's because I am a dominant athlete, like that guy that beat Ben Askren, Jorge Masvidal. I'm like Jorge Masvidal. I'm fueling my body with the nutrients and energy that a dominant male athlete in a combat sports needs, like Jorge Masvidal, by eating McDonald's. And I would have made them Joey Diaz McChickens by putting THC tinctures on them. I just don't have any with me right now, so I have to take hits of a THC cartridge. I'm trying to quit vaping again and replace it. I'm trying to replace it with THC tinctures again. I just am getting used to using them all the time, I guess, instead of vaping, which is actually making my workflow throughout the day better, because it is possible for the THC tinctures to last 4 to 6 hours, whereas a vaporizer cartridge only lasts 1 to 2 hours per dosage, give or take. my body is so ugly from my perspective. What's funny is without a shirt on, I arguably look better than I did when I was a teenager, which is saying something because I was like 160 pounds when I was a teenager. In my like prime teenage years when I looked the best, I was like 160 pounds, and somehow I have managed to look better without a shirt on at around like 200 pounds than I did when I was 160 pounds. And I'm not even trying to look good with a shirt on right now. I think it just has to do with the fact that I've been like tremendously ugly my entire life, and I think my wiener has done a lot of the carrying when it comes to my relations with women, which is hilarious. But I think my wiener has done a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to my romantic endeavors, because I look absolutely atrocious without a shirt on. And I think right now I somehow look the best I've ever looked without a shirt on, despite the me trying the least to look attractive without a shirt on right now, arguably. Ow. That hurt. But yeah, I don't know how I managed to do that, other than the obsessive amounts of VR boxing. Really, is the only thing I could attribute that, and the sudden shift to like manual labor, I would say, is also another contributing factor. Because like, not that I wasn't doing manual labor, but traffic control was tedious in a different way, and yeah, I would say that has to do. The near constant motion that I am in at the moment is probably why I look this way without a shirt on. But I've never been able to, even when I was in my best shape as a teenager, I was never able to look at my like upper body and be like, oh, I have muscle on my upper body. But right now, I literally have like noticeable muscle on my upper body, and I would say that makes me look the best without a shirt on that I've ever looked in my life. Because before then, I just looked like a I look like I literally just never developed really. Like I looked like I was still an adolescent, but like an adolescent that like received, like I look like I went through like this much of puberty and then like didn't finish puberty. Like that's what I looked like until I did an obsessive amount of VR boxing. Like I looked like I went through like a microscopic amount of puberty and then just didn't finish going through puberty without a shirt on. I looked like I got like this close to developing into a man and then just didn't develop into a man. Like that's what I looked like without a shirt on until recently. I look like I got this close to finishing puberty and just didn't finish puberty. Yeah, no, that's what I looked like without a shirt on until I did an obsessive amount of VR boxing while working 40 hours a week. Is is I look like I got like this close to naturally looking like a man through puberty, and then my body just went like and just didn't finish.